Hey, everybody. Why is it so dark out here? Usually we got plenty of light and you can kind of see my ugly mug. What's going on, everyone? King of Chaos here in the car with the boss man, Joey B. Hey, light and you can kind of see my ugly mug. And now the boss is going to play this as he tries to share it because he is technologically stupid. It's the easiest way to say it. We thank you so much for joining in with us. Appreciate you here as always. If you're watching, if you'd like others to join in, if you want to make this a lovely community thing, why don't you share, like, comment, question, whatever you'd like. Make this interactive. Send it out to other people. Let them know that you are enjoying yourself. Boss man, how are you feeling tonight? Good. Monosyllabic Joe. That's what we're getting to. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I mean, anyway. So we thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to cut straight to the nitty-gritty before we get into anything else. We've got 3 shows going on this weekend. Saturday, daytime, or rather late afternoon, we've got Women of Warriors 4. It is, correct? 4. I can count. This is going to be a fantastic show. I'll run down some of the matches off the top of my head. Nikki Adams taking on Casey Carlisle. I know some of the New York fans. Is this the first time? Yeah, I think so. Although I could be completely wrong. I know that some of the New York fans aren't too familiar with Casey Carlisle, and I think that's a damn sin.
Really?
In my opinion.
I don't know about that.
Yeah?
I think she's pretty popular. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying for people who don't know who Casey Carlisle is, please check out some of her matches on YouTube. She is, in my opinion, the most underrated female wrestler on the independent scene. Just a phenomenal talent. So that match is going to be wonderful. You got the Team C Stars versus the Twisted Sisters. You've got, who else do we got? We've got Nyla Rose versus Jessica Havoc. That is a lady hoss battle. I am crazy excited to see these two ladies beat the piss out of each other all over the building. Allie Rex and Tasha Steelz. We've got C Bunny and Willow, the happiest tag team on the planet, taking on Vanity and Thumper Robinson. What else we got going on there? Off the top of my head, I'm blanking.
Davian.
So hardcore. Davian taking on Gemma Cross. And I think that's about it. That's going to be a pretty awesome show. We really hope that you can join us Saturday night. Warriors of Wrestling presents Cold Fury in Brooklyn. Both shows are in Brooklyn, of course.
Same place.
Same place. One right after the other. So you can check that out as well. Main event that night, Darius Garter taking on former Ring of Honor, current Impact Wrestling, guy been all over the world, WWE writer for years, Jimmy Jacobs. Killer match upcoming. You get to see myself and tag champion Chris Benet take on the Twisted Sisters. I'm looking forward to this one. That match was actually listed for me on my Book It Fridays on my Facebook like page, which you guys can check out. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Isaiah Wolf taking on Tony Booze, the Brooklyn Bulldog. 2 Brooklyn natives get to kill it in No Limits title match. Heavyweight title action. Juba takes on the 2017 King of New York, Mike Law, cashing in his guaranteed title shot. 4-way match for #1 contendership. Jay George versus Chris Steeler versus Karloff versus Mike Berna. That's going to be pretty badass. What am I missing? Jump in on it.
D'Lo Brown and Ron Simmons will be in.
Yes, D'Lo Brown and Ron Simmons. If you bring in some Nation of Domination stuff, they will sign it as long as Ahmed Johnson is not in the picture. That's a lie. If Ahmed's in there, as long as they are, it's cool.
We were talking the other day, I think me and Brandon, Marcus, he was one of the biggest busts. Wait, was me? No, we were talking about football busts. He was talking about Ahmed Johnson being a bust with somebody. Was it you?
Probably not.
Yeah, he was one of the biggest busts in Scotty Priest. We were watching the Royal Rumble 97 with me, him, and Bunny in my house. He said Ahmed Johnson was one of the biggest busts in wrestling.
Certainly. And you know what? I would love to talk about, because we just had the Royal Rumble, and I don't think we've spoken about any of that. But I'd love to talk about the Royal Rumble today. That was actually on my list of things I'd love to talk about. Not just this one, just in general, because Royal Rumble is one of those matches that, as a wrestling fan, you look forward to every year. So yes, please check out both show Saturdays. However, tomorrow night, we're doing a tribute show for a guy who was super close to all of us. He was a Warriors of Wrestling student, wrestler on the roster, Frankie Getz, a.k.a. Joseph Pizarro. Just want to give a few minutes to dedicate to that. And those of you who have no idea who or what I'm talking about, bear with me as I kind of, I guess, just get all this out. I'm sure Joe will have some stuff to say. Joe is, or I'll refer to him as Moose, and I'm sure Joe will as well. Moose was a guy who, would light up a room whenever he came. He was always fun, always, good attitude, worked super hard. I mean, I can't say enough good things about him. And, the last show that we had, which unfortunately was the day of all of us finding out of his passing, it was super hard for everyone to, even just go out there, step through the curtain, and perform for a crowd. And this one I don't imagine is going to be any easier for any of us. But if you can join us and be a part of things, we'd greatly appreciate it. All of the proceeds, in fact, not even just the proceeds, literally every dollar on this show is going right to
From the gate.
From the gate, and the shirts too, because we have some memorial shirts coming out. All of that will be going to his widow and his kids, just right to him. So if you can, in any way, come down and show some love and support for Warriors of Wrestling as a family and for Joe. It's going to mean a lot to all of us for you to come on down and hang out. And now that I've completely killed the mood, I apologize. Tom Juba is requesting that instead of talking about the Rumble, we talk about the biggest busts in wrestling.
That's fine. I like that.
Sable, biggest bust in wrestling.
I don't think so.
Really?
No, you just made a lot of money wrestling.
So the Triple D?
Triple D, what?
Joe doesn't understand. Bust also means titties.
Oh, I'm sorry.
See, I made a joke.
I made an actual real bust. Who does Tom Juba think's a bust?
Yeah, Tom Juba, who do you think is a bust? So let's talk Ahmed Johnson.
Besides Juba.
Ahmed Johnson, I remember watching some of his stuff in GWF, the Global Wrestling Federation.
I do not remember. I don't know that. I do remember Global. I don't remember.
Right, he was in there for a hot minute.
As?
I think Big Tony something. Maybe
him and Booker came out of the same school, Ivan Putski School, by the way.
Yeah, but they're both Texas guys, right? Yeah. So, I definitely think that he was, because Vince had all of his money on that guy, and he just marbles in his mouth promos and was unsafe in the ring and unmotivated. I heard he had sex with Sonny for cocaine.
Really? I didn't know.
He was supplying the cocaine, and Sonny decided to, do her thing. So, that's that. Interesting. Why do you feel Ahmed Johnson the biggest bust? Go ahead and give your...
Well, because once they gave me the Intercontinental title, then after that, he joined the nation, he was out of the nation, he was hurt constantly. He was constantly hurt.
The guy was on so much shit, he fucking tearing muscle, taking shit.
They got rid of him, they sent to WCW, who he was way out of shape there.
He was Big T.
Yeah, it was Big T there.
And him and Booker T had a feud over the letter T. You remember that?
Yes. I didn't until you brought
Vince
it up.
Russo at his finest. You're gonna fight over the letter T.
So yeah,
and Booker, you're gonna lose it, and you're gonna be sad because your identity is gone. But then you're coming back as G.I. Bro.
Here's another guy. I'm gonna go back a little further. They put a lot of money into this guy's vignettes. They brought him over here because they want to capitalize on the movie Crocodile Dundee. That's Outback Jack. You remember that?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I was still a very, very small child when he debuted.
But they put the machine behind him, and he went. I mean, Ahmed Johnson at least had some success.
So
this guy had nothing.
Funny note about Outback Jack. So I was listening to a Australian comic who also happens to be a wrestling fan, and he was talking about how Tommy Kangaroo Down,
the song.
Yeah, the song. It's a popular Australian song. That's why they used it. However, there's like some really racist terms being used in that song for Australian Aborigines. So he's like, yeah, that song is kind of like, poo-pooed in Australia because it's, some really gross shit in there. Juba doesn't think Ahmed was a bust.
Who does he think is a bust?
Yeah, Juba, who do you think is a bust? Someone said Sin Cara, and I think that's 100%. Sin Cara's a huge...
But was Sin Cara the bust, or was it the character, or the guy that portrayed it? Because it was two guys.
Well, so it was a couple... So the character itself was pretty much just Mystico. Not really anything changed. It was no character. He was a dude in a mask, and they were going to do things with...
But then they put this other guy in a mask, didn't they?
No, they put another guy in a mask when they fired the guy playing Sin Cara.
Right, so I'm saying, so was the character the bust, or the guy that played him?
The guy who played him was certainly the bust, I think.
Because Sin Cara's still there, correct?
Yes, technically. But, Yeah, I think the issue was he didn't want to learn English. He didn't want to go to developmental to, kind of work out the kinks. Because their ring is different, He was working in, a Mexican ring, which is 100% different than a WWE ring. He didn't want to do any of those things to kind of adapt himself to, WWE style, and it was eventually his downfall. That was a huge bust because that guy was drawing so much money in Mexico. Insane amounts of money in Mexico. What is it? Juba says, dude from 93. Oh.
Ludwig Borga.
Yeah. Non-American was on the Survivor Series team. Ludwig Borga. Yeah. Ludwig Borga.
I didn't see them say that.
Yeah, I mean, he was a pretty big bust, but I don't think it was as big as Ahmed. Was Ludwig ever in main event storylines? Oh, that was that was a really bad fucking time.
Oh.
Luger versus Ludwig Borga. Ugh. Anybody in here?
I would say Sid, but then he kind of redeemed himself later on.
Yeah, Sid is certainly the biggest bust for fucking AIW, where she's telling people that the fucking Trump travel ban kept him from traveling to a show. Listen, I'm no fan of Donald Trump, but sweet Christmas. I ain't about to blame him for that shit.
Well, you better not fucking pull that shit for me down in New Orleans.
He's gonna.
No, you better not.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think
what are other people saying on that?
That's it so far. It's Sin Cara, Ludwig Borga, and what?
Brackus.
Well, you know what? Brackus, they didn't ever really do anything. They sent him to ECW to get better. And
Furnace and LaFon.
Furnace and LaFon, I think, are huge busts as well. Because Crawford and Furnace were big deals over in Japan.
I liked them too. I thought they were going to be the tag champs.
Dude, they were such big deals in Japan, but they just couldn't adapt to that TV style, man. And it's crazy because Doug Furnace holds 1 billion powerlifting records. That guy's just ridiculously strong.
Giant Gonzalez.
Yes and no. I know. You know what? No. I'm going to... well, Juba said Ultimo Dragon. We'll get to Ultimo Dragon 100%.
He wasn't a bust in WCW.
In WWE, he was. And that's the thing. Giant Gonzalez was a bust in WCW when he was...
a bust in WWE, too.
No, he was not. And I'll tell you why. Because they saw that guy get over like a fart in church in WCW and still brought him in. So, they're fucking wrong. Ultimo Dragon was super over in WCW, big deal, and they shit the bed with him here. It wasn't like it was the other way around. He shit the bed, and then he fucking shit the bed again. WCW had huge plans, and fucking Flair couldn't even get a good match out of fucking Giant Gonzalez. Then he comes to fucking WWF, and it's like, well, what did you expect for him to magically get better? You put him in a fucking bodysuit with a hairy crotch and fucking stupid shit. Yeah, he was never fucking anything. Garbage.
His first main event on fucking...
Yeah, he did a fucking 2-minute JOB. Big fucking main event. The Ascension, maybe the biggest NXT created bust.
Agree. I agree.
Yeah, you know what? I would certainly agree with that too.
Who said that?
You know what? I don't want to. I was gonna say Richie Steamboat, but he wasn't a bust. He got hurt. That kid had all the fucking potential in the world, and just got hurt.
Harry Smith.
Yeah, they fucking fucked him up, man. I'm glad he's doing good shit in Japan now. It's another one. The Mexicools, Scotty Cerriti says.
I don't know. What?
You know what? But they were over for what they were doing, so it was cool. You can't really complain about that. The character of Lord Tensai. Brian, I'm going to have to disagree with that. Because, again, you brought in this guy. There
was no big promotional machine behind him, like Ahmed Johnson or like...
Right, they were just kind of like, look at this Japanese heel. We're trying to recreate Hakushi fucking 15 years later or whatever it was. And just like, this is stupid. And everyone thought it was stupid from the get-go. At least Ahmed was like fucking over. And then just fizzled out because he was the shits. Would you consider Ryback a bust? Nah, because he was super over for a bit. I think he's a bust in terms of what he could have been. But that guy's a fucking walking Riri.
Fandango.
You ever listen to that guy talk?
Fandango.
Yes and no, because he's starting to really redeem himself, so it's not really much of a bust. Have you seen how entertaining fucking Breezango is? Mm-mm. Oh my god, they're fucking great.
Adam Rose?
No. Adam Rose's character had a shelf life. This is how it is. That character had a shelf life. After a while, it's no longer cool to see a guy come out with 100 people in an entourage. Said Snuka's kid.
Which one?
Deuce.
Oh, the Deuce and the 50s dudes?
Yeah.
Domino?